Hey everyone, I went to Amazon and purchased the cheapest gaming headset I could lay my hands on. It just so happened to be £10. This was the set that looked like it actually was a gaming headset and looked like it could actually deliver on its promise of being a gaming headset. So, I introduce you to the Stehio High Power Bass Headphone. Gaming Edition, of course. Interesting enough, if anybody hasn't recognized, that is in fact the Advanced Warfare image. I'm sure they didn't pay for that at all. This is from a company called the Hause Gaming. Who knows? Who cares? This is just a very generic box. It says it's suitable for video games. Yeah, it's suitable for video games. It says it's 7.1 channel. Well, if Stehio is a real word, then I will believe it has 7.1 channel on it, but it absolutely does not have 7.1 channel. Stereo sound, it says, sure. 40mm voice unit. I don't actually know what a voice unit is in this context. I'm assuming it means the driver. And a folding microphone. Yeah, has a folding microphone. Works. And this is the headset, by the way, in case that wasn't obvious already. So, what do you get for £10? You get this. In terms of comfort, they have very, very pleathery type material, and they're tiny. They are absolutely miniature. Like, these are designed for a child or something. In terms of comfort, for my big ears, they barely cover it, and this weird pleathery type material obviously gets hot and it starts to feel sticky on the ear, and it's just not a good material at all. So in terms of how long could you play with this, well, if it was a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being they start to make your ears bleed, and 10 being, I don't know, you have some sort of divine experience, these are easily a 3, maybe a 4 if I was being very generous. I mean, I've been wearing them now for about 20 minutes and my ears are actually hurting a bit, so maybe somebody with much smaller ears, these would be adequate. In terms of the microphone, does the microphone work? Yes, the microphone works. It's not a good microphone, but it's usable. And to be honest with you, a lot of microphones of this design tend to be pretty mediocre to average at best. They can't hold a candle to an external microphone. So even in higher end models, I find this particular design, it's, as long as it works, it isn't obnoxious in its volume. It doesn't sound like you're in a bathroom or speaking in a tin can or through a megaphone. Then it's just a usable experience, and that's exactly what this is. It works, it's fine. You're not going to be, I don't know, singing opera through it or anything, but hey, at least people in your lobby aren't going to be screaming at you to shut up. So that's a good thing. In terms of actual audio quality, this is where it gets a bit fun actually, because the audio quality, I had my proper headset on, well actually my headphone should I say, and I was listening to a song just to get my ears adjusted, and then I put these on and listened to the exact same song, and I just started laughing. And the reason why I just started laughing is because the sound quality is really, really bad. They are easily one of the worst headphones I've ever had to listen to music through. I couldn't recommend these at all for listening to music. But that's not what they're marketed as. These are marketed as headphone gaming, right? So that's where we should be really testing them. So I did. I took them into Call of Duty, decided to jump in and do what I would say the double test. So the immersion test, obviously how good does it sound just in general, running around in battle, and how good is it in terms of pinpointing footstep audio, which is obviously very important to any competitive gamer. In terms of the immersion test, they're okay. It's very low audio quality. The actual frequency range of these headphones, they're flatter than Belgium in the sense that everything sounds really, really washed out. There's bass there, but the bass sounds muddy. There is a mid-range there, but the mid-range sounds kind of like a radio, and the high end is pretty much non-existent, actually. It's kind of like if you imagine what you do to the final mixing part of a song, you end up going to the mastering stage where you put all the sheen on it and you get all your volumes right. It's like with this headset, they did the opposite. They did the opposite of mastering and went, no, we're not going to make these shine. We're going to try and make these sound as dull and flat and awful as possible. And that's exactly what they did. They achieved that perfectly. But in terms of your overall immersive experience for just casual gaming, yeah, it works. What can I say? It does the job. In terms of pinpointing audio, very surprisingly, actually, yeah, I could hear footsteps easily. I could pinpoint the audio position of the footsteps as well. And as far as sound cancelling, these are actually quite good at sound cancelling, way better than my Beyerdynamics, for example. But then my Beyerdynamics aren't designed for that. But these do actually give you a little bit of sound cancelling, despite them being horrendously uncomfortable, of course. So, hey, got to contend with that. In terms of, I guess you could say, equalization potential, there's not much there because the audio quality is so low. Even with equalization, you're kind of polishing a turd at this point. So, you know, what should you expect for £10? And I really want to reiterate that these are only £10. And there is a use case I can see why I could potentially recommend something like this. If you're on a very tight budget, for example, and you had kids, like more than one kid, and you need to give them a birthday present or Christmas present, and you need to give them both a headset to play with, this isn't that terrible, actually. It will get you into the game. You will have an immersive gaming experience, and you'll be able to speak to people. That's not a terrible deal, really, for £10. And here's the tricky part, your upgrade. What is the upgrade to something as bad as this? What, £20? 30? Maybe. Maybe you're looking at about £30 for something that's probably going to be a little bit better than this. I would say you're perhaps looking more closer to 50 potentially, and even then there's no guarantee they're going to sound any better to this. A lot of those even well branded £50 headsets are shockingly bad in their audio quality. They all sound flatter than Belgium. You know, they sound very typical to this, actually. So for £10, this is a £10 sound. This is what I expected for £10. And then some, actually. I was actually a bit surprised, shocked, actually, that they actually worked for pinpointing footstep audio and stuff like that. That's I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting to not be able to hear a damn thing. But no, they work. The only other use case would, of course, be potentially if you really, really are strapped for cash yourself and you need a headset, sure, go buy this. Or what? To be honest with you, these are very generic. So you'll probably find something like this on Amazon, maybe branded by somebody else, but it'll do the same thing. It'll probably sound exactly the same. And for £10, yeah. Do I recommend you buy the Stehiho headphones? No. I would, if it is in your option to go out and actually save your money and get something better, absolutely do that. But yeah, this was fun, and I'm going to be playing around with these a bit more, and I might do a few more videos on them. Anyway,